Please give it up for Jen Curcio.
I was like, can I touch the mic? Because I'm gonna. All right, so 5 years ago, I used my sick combination of skills as a graphic designer and an improv comedian, and I got my dream job. And my dream job, it wasn't that like exciting. It was exciting, I'm not gonna lie. I made memes for the internet. Thank you. And I thought about it, and I was like, if I told my grandma this, she was long gone, she was dead, she died in 97, but I was like, grandma wouldn't understand this, but I'm proud of me, and that's what matters. So I was super pumped. I love that job, but don't worry, my life was not all roses. I had to get a restraining order against my ex, who I dated 3 years before this. And like most people who are told to be restrained, they immediately started fighting it at every level of the court. And it was an incredibly, just wildly expensive situation. And I was like, thank God I have my job so I can pay an attorney $200 a week to help me with this. And then I lost my job. And this isn't a sad show, don't worry. So I was like, all right, it's time to budget. So there was a cabinet above my refrigerator. And so I went up there and I found pasta that the previous tenant had left. And I'd moved in 4 years ago. So it was like cobwebs, dust. I brushed it off and I ate that struggle pasta. And then that struggle pasta built the Berlin Wall in my colon. And I could not shit for a week. And I was like, I need to get some fiber in this diet. I need to get a job. So I went on social media and I was like, if anyone needs a graphic designer, let me know. And my friend immediately responded and she was like, oh, my friend Megan at Keller Williams, it's a real estate company. She needs a graphic designer. And I was like, this seems like a punishment, but okay. So I met with Megan and she was like, my boss is gonna come in here and he's really opposed to hiring anyone. And of course, George comes in and he's decked out in this very flashy suit and he slams his Mercedes keys down in front of me and he rolls up his expensive suit so he could show off his Rolex. And I'm like, I get it, George, you're rich. And he was like, you don't have to be here, you can leave, I'm not hiring you. And so I stand up and Megan says, sit down. So I sit back down. I'm like, this is a deeply toxic situation, but okay. I sit down, and then they go outside of the conference room, the glass conference room, no point. And they have a very heated exchange. And then George comes back in, and he goes, ugh, fine, I'll hire you, but I want you to do 40 hours worth of work in 20. At 18 hours an hour, $18 an hour. And I was like, that's damn near impossible, but I'll take it. So I do. And that Monday I start. And immediately, I noticed that it's a huge office, but all of the cubicles are forced off into this one section, right near the bathroom. And I'm like, that's deeply uncomfortable. And I'm like, hey, what's up with this weird layout? And this guy at the front desk was like, oh, honey, it's a story. And I was like, please tell. And so he explains that about a month ago, a raccoon got into the ceiling, had babies, couldn't find her way out, ate her babies, and it caused a horrible stench. And then it was on the other side of the building, hence why we were all scrunched on that side. And I was like, oh no, the Berlin Wall's coming down. I was like, I'm about to shit myself, but I'd never shit at work before. And I was like, oh no, today is the day this is gonna have to happen. But I was like, no, wait, everyone's gonna hear this horrible thing coming down out of my ass. So I was like, okay, I got this, I can do this. I'm just gonna start doing work. So I started talking to all these realtors as I'm sweating. And they're like, oh, we need memojis of ourselves in presentation form. And I was like, sure, why not, Karen? So I'm frantically designing and clenching my asshole. And it lunchtime hits. And I was so deep into this work that I don't even realize that everybody's left, and then I suddenly let a fart out. And it is the most horrific smell I have ever smelled. And I start laughing because I'm alone. And I'm like, surely by the time all these realtors get back, it's gonna be gone. And then the lunch hour passes, and I'm sweating. And I'm like, it's not gone. And the realtors start coming in, and they're like, this is like North Hollywood, and they're all like dressed up, and they're like, what the hell is that smell? And the one guy who told me about the raccoons goes, oh, fuck, the raccoon's back. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. Definitely, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we're gonna have to call the exterminator. And I'm just like sweating profusely, and I didn't even look in the mirror, but I know I'm red. And everybody's like, they're smelling their clothes, and I start smelling mine, and I'm like, oh my God, the stench is like seeping into cloth. They're gonna have to throw out all the furniture in this damn Keller Williams. And so I'm like panicking, and then this is pre-COVID, so this exterminator comes in, and he's in a full Tyvek suit with a fucking face mask and goggles. That's how serious this fart was. And he pulls down the thing, and he takes a whiff, and he goes, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get up there. The stench is it's really like right where you are. So I move out of my desk, and he gets up there with a ladder, and he's like, there's no raccoon. I'm gonna have to start gutting these walls. So they closed the office, and I went home, and I applied to so many jobs. I got a job interview the next day, and I never went the fuck back. That's my story.